Okay. So Venn diagram is a diagrammatic representation of the sets and its properties. Okay, of the sets and its properties of sets, which is represented by a closed figure. Always a set is represented by a closed figure or a circle. Usually a circle is being used. Very few times you can see a oval. Why Venn diagram? Because it was given by a famous mathematician called Venn. So that is why it is called Venn and diagram. The person name Venn and then the diagram. Then for universal set, we use a closed figure, usually a rectangle. This is universal set. And coming to A union B, first draw the universal set. Inside that you will have set A and set B. Now in the set A and set B, what is gonna happen is, when you are calculating A union B, it is all the elements in A and all the elements in B we consider, correct? So that is why we shade the set A completely and set B. And usually when sets are related to each other, they overlap. Now if you see here, set A is the circle and set B is overlapping. They come together in one place. Okay, so this is A union B. Now suppose if there is any common elements between A and B, then it will become A intersection B. Now in A intersection B, what is going to happen is, we are only going to shade this overlapping part of the sets, okay, where A and B has overlapped each other, right? So we are going to shade only this portion, that is going to be intersection. So this was until A union B and A intersection B. Next, going on to differences of sets. When we are trying to find out A minus B. A minus B is nothing but all the elements that are in A but not in B. Okay, so that is going to be A minus B. So first we have a universal set. Now universal set, and then there is two sets A and B. Now apart from that, how do we represent A minus B? We are supposed to only shade A and do not shade this intersection part. Okay, leave out intersection part, because whatever is present in A and not in B will come here. So that is A minus B. Next, going on further is B minus A. Here all the elements which are present in B but not A. Okay, so that is B minus A. So that is why we only shade the part where we have only B and leaving out this intersection part. So any doubts until here? Okay, now let us also finish subset. Let us also finish subset. Subset is nothing but there is set A and there is set B. When there are common sets, in that case we write one inside the other. Okay, we have set B. Yesterday I gave an example. Set B is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So that is a bigger set. Now when I say set A is 1 2 3 4 5, then what will happen in that case is, I am supposed to just write those common elements or write those elements in A in the inner circle, and whatever is of B has to be written in the outer circle. Okay, so that is your subset. Now going to the complement of sets. Just wait a second. Okay, so let's continue. Now here we have A complement. or U minus A. Now what is complement? Whatever is not present in A will be present in A complement. So let us understand using the, just wait a second, let's understand using a example. I think that will be much easier for you. Now universal set is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. And then we have set A, which is equal to, let's say, A, C, E, G. Okay, so this is U, that is universal set from A to H. And then we have set A, which is A, C, E, G. Okay, now can you say me how do I calculate A complement? No, not common elements. Okay, Anusha is right. Rakshita, it's not that which are not in union. That union part is wrong, my dear. Others also must answer quickly. How do I calculate A complement? Very good. The elements which are not in A. Very good, Rida. Whatever elements which are not in A, but they are in universal set. Very precise. Very good. Okay. So in this case, in this example, wait a second. So in this example, now I can say A complement is equal to, which all elements will come? A is already present. So B, C is there, D, E is there, then F, G is also there, H. So I can say A complement is equal to B, D, F and G. Now how do I represent the same thing in the Venn diagram here? So let us do that. Now universal set is there. Universal set is nothing but this whole square is a universal set. Okay. Now out of this, the values in A are A, C, E and G. Correct? Now complement of A, whatever is not present in A, which means they're supposed to be present outside A. Now A has certain elements already. So whatever is not present in A, which means they are present outside A. So the rest of the elements, that is B, D, F and H, these are the elements which are present outside A. So which is nothing but the outer part. Okay, the outer part what we see here, this will become A complement when you have only one set here. Okay, when you have only one set inside, this will become A complement. And complement, how do we represent complement? You are supposed to share the outer part of the set inside a universal set. Did you all understand? Everybody understood? Okay. Now let us go to the last part of set, the last type of set, that is disjoint set. Now in disjoint set, what is going to happen is, there are two sets A and B. Okay, there are two sets A and B. Now these two sets A and B, they don't relate to each other. There are no common points at all for these A and B. So that is why it is called as disjoint. If you let's take with an example. I think the example, it will be easier for you to understand. We will go with an example and understand it better. So we have A, which is equal to, let's say, 1, 2, 3. And then we have B, which is equal to 8, 9, 10. Are there any similarities between both the groups? Any common elements? No. So these such type of sets will become disjoint set, and they are represented in this way. Now A elements are 1, 2 and 3, and B elements are 8, 9 and 10. So both are different numbers where there is no common element for me to join them and form a union here. Oh, sorry, intersection here. Okay, so that is not available. So in that case, I'll just draw two simple circles representing a set, and then I call them as disjoint set. If they don't relate to each other, they are called as disjoint set. Clear? Everybody understood? Okay. Now let us go to the next. So that completes our Venn diagrams. We will now try and solve problems using Venn diagrams as well as set concepts. Okay, so both of them. Now before going to problem, you're supposed to learn and understand few of the formulas, few of the basic formulas. So let's see the list of the formulas. Now the first one is, if A and B, now see here, if A and B are two finite sets, then N of A union B. Now in the problem, if they ask you to find out A union B, then in that case, what we are supposed to do is, we have to use this formula, which is N of A union B is equal to N of A plus N of B minus N of A intersection B. Please understand and remember the formula. First, if they ask you to find the union, at the last you will have intersection. Okay, at the last you will have intersection. Now it is not the other way around. So remember this formula thoroughly. N of A union B is equal to N of A plus N of B minus, it is minus N of A intersection B. So this is one basic formula. Okay, now suppose there is one scenario. Now what is that scenario? If at all there are no common elements between A and B, which means A intersection B is null set. A intersection B is null set, correct? So what is going to happen is, we will consider this null set value to be 0. Now one difference you are supposed to understand it better. When I talk about set A intersection B, okay, when I talk about, one second. When I talk about A intersection B, I'm talking about the elements. Okay, I'm talking about elements A, B, C, D. Okay, but the same thing when I talk about, when I write it as N, that is number of elements in A intersection B. When I have N before here, then it will become number of elements, that is A, B, C, D are 4 elements. Okay, so please see here, A intersection B is null set. Null set means there are no elements in the set. So which is nothing but when the set is empty, I can say there are 0 elements. So n of A intersection B is 0. Now in this scenario, how do I write this formula? How do I rewrite this formula is given here. Now in the place of n of A intersection B, I will write it as 0, which means there is no value for this. So my final formula for n of A union B is nothing but n of A plus n of B. Did you all understand little? Yeah, I will say it once again. So the first main formula for you to understand to solve the set, okay, to solve sets, the first main thing you're supposed to understand is that there is this formula, n of A union B is equal to n of A plus n of B minus n of A intersection B. So n means cardinal numbers in the set. The number of elements that are present in the set is to be considered. Okay, this is main formula. Let's say this is formula 1. Now suppose there is one scenario or there is separate scene that is happening. What is that? A intersection B is a null set. Suppose there are no elements in A intersection B. In that case, I can represent that as 0 elements in the set, because null set has no elements. So 0 elements in the set. So that is n of A intersection B. So what do we get after, in this scenario, what this formula will get changed to this formula. Suppose we have similar elements in n of A intersection B. Similar elements, how do you mean? Intersection only means common elements, right? Yeah, if you have data or if you have the number directly, you can go with the first formula. See, I'm not saying you should use only this. This formula is the first formula. Okay, we will be using this formula only. Suppose if at all you get an empty set for A intersection B, then in that case, we will leave out this A intersection B and we will stick to the rest of the formula. But this, we have similar element in n of A intersection B, that will not come, that is not the scenario which will actually come at any point of time. Did you all understand the first formula? Everybody understood? Okay. Now let us go to the next formula. Now next formula is for 3 sets. Now first we had only A and B are 2 finite sets. Now please understand, it says finite. Finite means you will have countable numbers. Okay. Now here it is A, B, C are 3 finite sets. Again, countable numbers. Okay. So what is the formula? We have A, B and C, 3 sets. So n of A union B union C is equal to n of A. So first, how many numbers are there in A? And then n of B, how many numbers are there in B? Plus n of C, how many numbers are there in C? So what did we do first? The value for n of A union B union C is equal to n of A plus n of B plus n of C. And then plus n of A intersection B intersection C. Now until here, if you observe these both formulas, it is almost same. Just that there is no C here and there is C added. Yes. So until here it is same. N of A union B union C is equal to N of A plus N of B plus N of C plus N of A intersection B intersection C. Okay. Now, after this, we have a little more addition because it is 3 sets. What is that addition is? N of A intersection B. See, first these two we are going to consider, and then A intersection B. Then N of B intersection C. First is A intersection B and then B intersection C. Okay. And then N of A intersection C. So first we will consider 2, that is A and B. So A intersection B. Then we will consider B and C. So B intersection C. And then we will come back to A and C. So which is A intersection C. So whenever you have 3 sets and we have to solve the problem, we are going to use this formula. So what is the formula? N of A union B union C is equal to N of A plus N of B plus N of C plus N of A intersection B intersection C minus N of A intersection B minus N of B intersection C minus N of A intersection C. Clear? Understood the second formula? Any doubts? They will mostly give you the data for A, B and C. Okay. Sometimes the data will be given for A intersection B, B intersection C. Okay. These data might be given sometimes. Okay. Or sometimes they'll give you only this data. So much data will be given and they'll ask us to find out rest of it. Okay. So we'll be able to find out things. Now let's go to the next one. If A and A complement both are finite sets, then N of A complement is equal to N of universal set. We will understand this with an example. The same example which I gave some time back. U is equal to, let's say, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. A is equal to, what did I give? A, C, D, wait, A, C and E and F. No, not F, G. A, C, E, G. Correct? Now what was A complement? What was A complement which we found out? B, D, F, H. E will not come. Imran, E is not considered. No, E will not come. See, B, C is already there, D, E is already there, F, and then we have G is considered, H. So this is A complement. Now, say me, what is N of U? How many elements are there in U? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 elements are there in U. Correct? Now, A is a finite set. So N of A is nothing but 4. Correct. Now, N of A complement, N of A complement is also 4. Now, what are they trying to say here is, if A and A complement both are finite set, then n of A complement is equal to n of universal set. Now, going back to the previous slide, wait a second. Going back to the previous slide where we were learning this complement. Okay, going back to this place. Now here I told this set A was A, C, E, G. Okay, and rest of it, that is B, D, and what was the other ones? E, and E is already there. B, D, F and H, correct? And what was universal set? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now out of all of these elements, when this rectangle is a universal set, A, B, C, D is already there as a part of set A. So n of A is 4, correct? Out of universal set, n of A is 4. Now the remaining 4 is part of A complement. The remaining 4 is part of A complement, that is 4. Now here, after you take out A, whatever is remaining, this is equal to the universal set elements because it is written in the outer part of the circle. Okay, so that is what they are trying to say when they are saying n of A complement is equal to n of universal set. Now, if you see, the outer part is called universal set here, this complete rectangle. And in that rectangle, how many points or how many alphabets are remaining? 4 alphabets. So that is why this will become A complement, and also this will become universal set. So what is remaining in the universal set is 4 elements. Did you all understand the concept? No, Sindhu. The n of A is equal to A plus, that cannot be applied all the time. Okay, A plus A complement cannot be applied all the time. It depends from problem to problem. Just understand the basics, but when we go on to problems, we'll have to apply it in a little different way. Okay, that you will understand when we start with the problems. Once we finish with one more formula, we will start with the problems. Okay, yeah. Now, let us go back to the formulas. The last formula, if A and B are two finite sets, then n of A minus B is equal to n of A minus n of A intersection B. In n of B minus A is equal to n of B minus n of A intersection B. Just see here, when it is A minus B, you'll have to take A first and then A intersection B. Whenever there is B first, you'll have to take B and then A intersection B. Okay, this is just a simple formula. Let's go to the first problem and understand. Then you will be able to relate things better. Okay, so this is problem number 1. First thing that you are supposed to do is read the problem very thoroughly. Understand, you're supposed to analyze from the problem in set theory. So please read the problem thoroughly. Now let's read it together. Out of 50 people, okay, out of 50 people. So first, what do I have? I have 50 people. So it's something like the total is 50, correct? So I can take it as universal set. N of U is 50. Okay, next. 20 people drink tea. 10 people or 10 take both tea and coffee. How many take at least one of two drinks? We will read the question again. We'll only understand the question clearly. Out of 50 people, 20 people will drink tea. So out of 50 people, 20 people will drink tea. Okay, and then 10 of them will drink both tea and coffee. That is all is the information given to us. So much did you all understand? Until here, everybody understood? Okay. Now, what are we supposed to do? Now, if you see the question, 20 people drink tea. Okay, so tea is one set. So I can say N of tea is 20. Correct? But when we see this 10, it says 10 of them take both tea and coffee, which means for this 10 people, tea and coffee both are common. So when it is common element, how do I represent a common element? Do I consider union or intersection? Which do I consider when it is common elements? I want everybody to answer. Imran, you seem to be getting confused. Concentrate properly. When I say common, see, just because it is and, don't go by union. When I say it is common elements, where do I use common elements?